Hi guys, today I've got my green wig on and I'm wearing my Loki jumper because today's vlog is inspired by one of my biggest celebrity crushes, Tom Hiddleston. So today is another day in my life inspired video where I base my day around either Tom Hiddleston inspired things or activities which I know that he likes doing himself. I will first explain how I became such a big fan of Tom Hiddleston. I remember it really clearly because the Avengers film was out at the cinema and I was never a fan of the Marvel films. I never watched them. And my dad, he really wanted to go see it at the cinema because he was a Marvel fan. He was really excited about seeing the film and he had no one to go with. And he asked if I wanted to come along to see the film with him. And I felt a bit bad for him, so I said, yeah, I'll come along, thinking, this is a long film, I'm going to be sat in the cinema, really bored. Film starts, I see Tom Hiddleston, and I immediately think, I'm going to really enjoy this film. And I did. I really fell in love with Tom Hiddleston. I really got into the film. I ended up going out and buying 4 film and really loving 4. And I also went and bought a load of other Marvel films too to watch. But if I had to name my favourite Marvel film, it will be The Avengers, purely because of Tom Hiddleston's character Loki, which is the role that Tom Hiddleston is most well known for playing. I'm already dressed for the day. I was going to put some makeup on, but because I'm not going anywhere today, I don't think I can be bothered now to put on makeup. But I am thinking of putting on my green lipstick because I have a green lipstick which I've only worn like once, I think, and I never know when to wear green lipstick. It's not really an everyday colour to wear, so I never really know when best to wear my lipstick, my green lipstick, but I feel like today is the day to wear it. This is the lipstick I have. It's from NYX. There it is. It's quite a dark green, quite sparkly. This looks like a lipstick Loki would approve of. I thought I'll start the day by showing you my Tom Hiddleston DVD collection because I do have the majority of his films on DVD. I don't have so much his newest stuff though. All the DVDs I keep in my living room, and as you can see, I am really into films. I have quite a lot of DVDs, but over here is where I keep my Tom Hiddleston DVDs, and the first one is unrelated. I do keep the DVDs in order of release. So this was the first one he starred in that I have on DVD. I don't know if it was his first film. I think it was. I'm just going to double check. Looking at his Wikipedia, he starred in a few television films, which I don't have. And Unrelated is listed as his first film, which he starred in back in 2006. So this is the film. I've only seen this film a couple of times. I don't think I was a huge fan of it. It's quite an artsy film. There's a lot of silent parts in it with not much dialogue. Those kind of films aren't my favourite sort of films. Then I've got a few more films of his which I would say are, again, a bit artsy. We have this one, and then this one. Then I have a box set, TV series, it's a BBC television series, Wallander. He wasn't a big lead, I don't think, in this. If I remember rightly, I think he played a detective. Again, I haven't seen this in a very long time. Then I have another TV series. I really enjoyed this one. It's Shakespeare, The Hollow Crown. He is not in the first season. He's in parts 1 and 2 of Henry IV and V. Henry IV, he plays as the prince and then he becomes king. Henry V in the third one. Really enjoyed this series. Then I have Midnight in Paris. He wasn't one of the main leads in this film either. I found the film okay. I'm not a big fan of Woody Allen. He was the one who wrote and directed this film. I'm never really into Woody Allen's films. and I'm not a big fan of, oh, what's his name again? Owen Wilson, is it? Yeah, Owen Wilson. Not a huge fan of Owen Wilson either, but again, worth watching it just to see him. Then I've got War Horse, and I actually lied because technically this was the first film I saw Tom Hiddleston in. I also saw this film at the theatre as well, and I remember finding Tom really handsome in the film, but he didn't really have a big role in it. He plays as one of the soldiers, and then I didn't really think much of him afterwards. And when I saw him in Avengers, I didn't initially link him with this role in War Horse. This technically was the first film I saw him in. Only Lovers Left Alive. Again, I wasn't a huge fan of this film for some reason, although he does have a big role in this film. Then I have Tinkerbell, Pirate Fairy. Tom Hiddleston voices in this one as cabin boy. Then I have Crimson Peak. I saw this at the cinema and really enjoyed it. One of my favourites actually that Tom Hiddleston stars in. It's this gothic horror, although I'd say it was more like a thriller. I'm not usually a fan of horrors, but I really enjoyed this one. Tom Hiddleston stars as this vampire. I love the gothic setting in this, the costumes, and yeah, I really liked Tom Hiddleston's character. He plays very sexy vampire, one of my favourites of his. Then I have High Rise, also saw this at the cinema. I actually travelled out to see this film because it wasn't showing in my local cinema. I did enjoy the film. He plays a lead role in this one as well. Then I have I Saw the Light, where he stars as the singer Hank Williams. Again, another film I enjoyed watching. Another film where he is the lead role. I have Kong Skull Island. I saw this at the cinema. Wasn't a huge fan. Sometimes I like the Kong films, other times I'm not a huge fan of them. I wasn't a big fan of this storyline. I really love the Kong film that has Jack Black in it. Actually, I have it down here, this one. I really like this Kong film, but I was a bit disappointed in this one. But again, worth seeing if you're a fan of Tom Hiddleston, or even a fan of the Kong films. Then I have one of my favourite TV series ever. I absolutely love The Night Manager. The cast are incredible. There's 4 main lead cast members, and honestly, they act so well. And then finally, I have my 4 films, which I have up here. I have this little section is my Marvel films I have a few more down here. As you can see, I don't have any of the newer Marvel films. I have 4 Dark World, 4 Ragnarok. I actually really enjoyed this 4 film. I saw this one at the cinema. I thought it was really funny. And this film is directed by Taika Waititi. I think that's how you say his name, who I also really love. I've seen most of the films that he's directed or starred in. I just think he's a hilarious actor, and yeah, everything he writes I always find so funny. Then I have Avengers Assemble. I'm going to start my day by watching a few episodes of The Night Manager because I honestly can't get enough of this series. I never get bored of watching it. I don't know how many times I've seen this series, but yeah, now I've mentioned it, I have the urge to watch some again, so I'm going to watch a few episodes of this.
To bring the money to us, we give you back the boy. No. We will give you money. We will give you money, but you have to leave the boy here. We can't touch you. No. On the floor, on the ground. You take me instead. You don't have to leave. Back down. On the ground. Everybody. Who's in there? Who's in there? Go on.
Do you handle cash in that hotel of yours?
Yeah. Sometimes.
Suppose you stole some of it or all of it. Would anyone notice straight away?
What if I was clever about it?
Ah, well, luckily you are clever, Jonathan, because I checked.
Did you? Of course you did.
This wig is leaving a weird shadow just across my eyes. It looks like I'm wearing a mask. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to read, because Tom Hiddleston apparently loves reading. He owns a lot of books. He said that his favourite book is Anna Karenina, which I have never read before. It is a classic. It's apparently considered as one of the best books in literature, but I've always been put off with reading it because it's such a big book. The book was written by Russian writer Leo Tolstoy back in 1878, which is when it was first published, but he wrote the book, drawn his life in 8 parts, so it is a really big book to get through, so I can see it taking me quite a long time, but I'm finally going to start the book today because Tom Hiddleston said it was his favourite book, so I am very excited to read this book. Like I said, I have wanted to read it for a little while. I don't own a copy of the book, so I went and got it on Kindle. All happy families resemble one another. Each unhappy family is unhappy in its own way. To go with the theme around Tom's most well-known role as Loki, I have decided to do some work on the Norse gods and learn about them. I think I mentioned in my last Day in My Life video that I like learning about new things and then documenting them under my computer so I can look back over what I learnt. So during the past few days I've been learning about the Norse gods and Norse mythology, and I've been finding it really interesting. This is what I've done so far, so I've just written a little bit about each of the Norse gods, as well as some of the stories. I'm going to do a little bit more work on this now. I have really been finding it interesting. One of the Norse mythology stories I find particularly interesting is the death of Balder, so I thought I'll briefly tell you that story. Balder was the son of Odin and Frigg, and he was known for his wisdom, beauty, and kindness. And he was Odin's favourite son. Odin and Frigg were really proud of him. They knew he was destined for great things, and this made all the other gods very jealous, particularly Loki, the trickster god. And Odin decided to test Balder's invincibility by sending him to the underworld. And in preparation for this, Frigg made everything in their world promise that they would not harm her son. But Loki thought of a cunning plan, and he disguised himself as an old woman to ask Frigg if it was true that she asked everything around them not to harm her son. And she said that she didn't ask the mistletoe because it was too young and insignificant to harm her son. So Loki then made a spear out of mistletoe and gave it to the blind god Hoda, who was also the brother of Balder, and he unwillingly fired the arrow and killed Balder. All the gods were devastated by Balder's death and tried to retrieve him from the underworld, but Hel, who is the ruler of the underground, said that she would only release Balder if they could get every last thing in the universe to weep for him. And they nearly succeeded in doing this, apart from one giantess refused to weep, and they assumed that this was Loki in disguise, and so the terms of Hel's offer were not met, and so she kept Balder. Before doing my research on Norse mythology, I didn't really know a lot about it or the gods. The only things I did know were from the films 4, which have their own take on it, and also from another TV series which I wanted to mention, which I love, another one of my favourite series. It's called Vikings, and they mention the gods a lot throughout the series. And I also know a lot about Viking history as well, because I'm really into Viking history, and I became really interested in that from the series. There's so many characters I really love in the series. I really love Ragnar, Floki, Ethelstan, King Harold, Lagertha. There's so many. It's a really great series, another one I recommend. I'm now going to get something to eat, and I've decided I'm going to have a burger and some fries, because in an interview once Tom was asked what his favourite food was and he said a classic cheeseburger. But if you've seen some of my previous vlogs, you know that I really don't like anything in my burger, even cheese. I'm funny with even a cheeseburger, it just has to be a plain beef burger, nothing else. Not even lettuce or anything like that. It just has to be plain. So that's what I'm going to have with some fries. Now to enjoy my beef burger and potato wedges. I thought it'd be fun now to show you guys my Loki collection, because I do have quite a lot of Loki stuff. So I'm going to start with the jumper I'm wearing. I really love this jumper. I got this after the Loki TV series on Disney, I think it is, came out. They released a load of merch, and this was what I picked up. I also have this Loki necklace. A friend of mine actually bought me this. And I've got this cool Loki shaped ring. Another Loki necklace I have is this one. I think this one is really cool as well. And it says Loki and Marvel at the back. A lot of my Loki merch I keep in the corner of my room, just over there. But I've also got a few things downstairs in the living room, so I'll quickly show you those things first. I have this Loki figure. I really love the design of this. I think it's quite different. I also have this cute little Loki. And I've also got this Loki chess piece. There's actually a really funny story to tell about this chess piece. This comes from a magazine. It came as like a free gift in a magazine series, collection series. And my friend, she was collecting the magazines. I didn't collect the magazines, I just wanted to get the one with the Loki chess piece. And my friend, when she got the Loki, when she took it out of the packaging, the chess piece was broken. It was snapped at the legs. It happened to be Loki, the one she was also really looking forward to getting. And then I went out and got my piece. And as soon as I got home, I realised that my Loki was also snapped at the legs. And I remember taking a picture to show my friend, and we just found it hilarious because the likelihood of it happening to both of us. Luckily, the second piece that we both got was okay. And then up here on this top shelf, I've got this Loki, and it's a Loki bobblehead. I like to keep these down here next to the Marvel DVDs. Back into my room, this is where the majority of my Loki stuff is, as well as you can see, my Draco Malfoy collection. I've got quite a few Funko Pops. I haven't got a lot of the new released Loki Funko Pops though. These are quite old ones. I've got one with him with the gold helmet. Perhaps I'll move some of this stuff so you can see them there. Here's a better look of the Loki with the gold helmet. I've got a black and white Loki. This is an Underground Toys exclusive. I think this one looks really cool. I've got a Loki from Thor's Ragnarok. I've got a gold Loki. This is Loki without his helmet. And then the last Loki Funko Pop I have is this one. It's a Fugitive Toys exclusive, and it glows in the dark. And now probably my favourite item from my Loki collection is this Loki figure. Look how much he looks like him. My friends kindly got me this as a Christmas present, which I was so grateful for because she paid quite a lot of money for him. And he just looks so cool. I really, really love him. And I've also kept the box that he came in. I never usually keep the packaging, even for collectible items, but I just had to keep this and have it on display because it just looks so cool. And here's a look at what's inside the box. This is where he stood. And then we've got a load of different hands So you can change what you want him to be holding. And then he's got his chains here. And there's also a dagger there as well. I'm now going to get started on the second book I bought from Kindle, and it's this Norse mythology one. I wasn't going to get this book at first because I wanted to read more of a fantasy style book based around Norse mythology. There's one I really want to read that's called Valkyrie, but that one was quite expensive on Kindle. It's £10, and this one I got for a £5. And the reason why I decided in the end to go for this one is because it's got really good reviews. Lots of people have said how good it is, and it's apparently a collection of different stories retelling Norse mythology. So it does sound up my street. I'm really into this at the moment, so I'm also very excited to get started on this book. So that's what I'm going to do now. The highest and oldest of all the gods is Odin. Odin knows many secrets. He gave an eye for wisdom, more than that, for knowledge of runes, and for power. He sacrificed himself to himself. I really enjoyed the few chapters I read then. A lot of it I had recently learnt, so I was familiar with some of it already, which is quite good. So I'm looking forward to learning new things. I'm filming this on another day, but I just wanted to add this into the video just to say how much I loved this book. I read it in about 2 days. I was addicted to it. I just thought it was amazing. If you're into Norse mythology, I definitely recommend this book. Neil has this way with words that when he says a sentence, you just want to know more. His stories are very funny and interesting. I just really enjoyed the book. I definitely recommend people read it. I plan to get a physical copy of this book, but I want to get the hardback illustration version because I think that one looks really cool, but it doesn't come out until November, so I'm going to pre-order that. I'm now going to end the day by rewatching the film that first got me obsessed with Tom Hiddleston and Loki as a character, and that is Avengers. I was torn between Avengers and Ragnarok. Like I said, I really love the director of that movie. I keep forgetting his name. He also starred in oh gosh, I'm terrible at titles. My Flag Means Death, that's it. The TV series My Flag Means Death. He acted in that, and a lot of other films that he directed I just find hilarious. I recently watched this vampire film of his. Again, the name's gone from my head, but that was hilarious too. He's such a good director, and I just love his films. So yeah, the Ragnarok movie, I find it very funny. But I also do like Avengers. I've decided to watch this one because it's the one that first got me into Tom Hiddleston. I may even consider having a bit of a movie marathon someday and rewatching all the Thors and the Avenger films.
Sir, please put down the spear.
I still need that.
This doesn't have to get any messy.
Of course it does. I've come too far for anything else. I am Loki of Asgard, and I am burdened with glorious purpose.
I'm going to be heading to bed soon, so I'm going to end the vlog here. I've really enjoyed my day today, especially as it was based around one of my favourite actors. And I also wanted to say how pleased I am with its wig. I usually can't wear a wig all day because if I wear them for too long, they start to give me a bit of a headache. But a lot of the time, I've forgotten that I even have a wig on. I've managed to keep it on all day, and yeah, really surprised about that. I think I'm going to wear this wig more often because it's one I don't usually reach for. So yeah, I just wanted to say thank you very much for watching this video. I really hope that you have enjoyed it, and I also hope to see you in my next video.